Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the WCA American Qualifiers. We are here with our last best of three of the night. So very excited. Last best of three of the first round. We're here, Burbank, California. Sunny, beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, my name is Mott. You can follow me, or you can see me at Mott Dota. With me today is Trout. You can follow me at Trout Dota. We've had a very, very long couple of days here in beautiful California, culminating in the end of this first round. We just witnessed the end of the third series between Narvi and EHUG. Great stuff there. Narvi, of course, 2-1ing EHUG in, I think, what was a pretty close series, maybe closer than most people anticipated.
I would agree with that. I think I did predict a 2-1 for them, but I thought it was going to be a little bit still one-sided, or sorry, a little bit closer in that game that EHUG took off. But they really owned that game. Yeah. And then the last game, just better play overall from Narvi. I don't think anything was too surprising about that. But this matchup, I think we both kind of agree that most people are leaning towards Summer's Rift in a considerable fashion.
Yeah.
We've just seen a little bit of some kind of weird play from Void Boys. They haven't had a solidified roster with Pat Soul leaving yet. I've seen a couple different people standing in. Right now it's going to be 747. He has another name. I think it's Susie.
Yes.
That's what he goes by as the carry role. But they just haven't looked, unfortunately, as good once they've had this new addition.
Yeah, maybe they get off to a fast start here, maybe take a 1-0 lead, surprise Summer's Rift with the draft. You were talking about this earlier. This is 6.84, so if any team that is not doing as well or isn't predicted to win is going to beat, a stronger team, it's going to be through this patch, through surprising picks. Maybe something like we saw from the last game, which was the Undying pick, which I think was a big factor for Narvi in that last game.
Absolutely. I think this is the time for the underdogs to really take advantage of the lack of knowledge that a team might have about this patch. And that's pretty much almost every team, right? I mean, it's going to take a lot of time for people and teams to really decide, or not really decide, but just find out through pub games, just through constant playing of the new patch to find out what works and which heroes are really, quote-unquote, broken. Obviously, there's some hints as to what's good and strong right now, like Leshrac as carry, Undying, as we saw, is a beast, Spirit Breaker is really good. All sorts of new heroes that can utilize the new items, like Quap, who is already pretty damn strong.
Right.
There's just a lot of heroes, but that's just touching the surface, so to speak.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's tons of new heroes that, with combinations of Silver Edge. I mean, Slark was predicted by, I think, a lot of people in the NA Dota community to be a beast in this patch. Excuse me. So we haven't seen a lot of Slark, though, to be honest.
I don't know if he's ever really been picked, at least not in this tournament, not in Canada Cup, which I watched the other day. He's not been touched. Slark has not been picked really at all. Maybe in some other tournaments, we'll have to wait and see. There's a lot of lands coming up. There's a lot of very important matches for a lot of these teams. And this one, maybe the most important, at least for Void Boys, getting off to a fast start here and taking it to Summer's Rift. And it shows that they might have some fight left in them for the TI qualifiers, which I think inevitably they will get into the TI North American qualifiers, the American qualifiers, whatever you want to call it. We honestly don't know yet. I do want to point out also we had some great series yesterday. We had Not Today versus Leviathan. That is the series that will stick in everyone's mind. So many of you guys watching it was absolutely fantastic. 2-0 from Not Today in an absurd fashion. I don't think it should have ended that way. It honestly could have been 2-0 for Leviathan with how everything went, but it wasn't in the cards for Leviathan. They played pretty well, but Not Today's team play was absolutely fantastic. Yeah,
they just defended high ground really nicely and good itemization with their heroes and items they wanted to buy. But we're all loaded in, and the last player came right away, and they're like, go. So they're ready to play.
And we're in. We're into, of course, the draft, getting ready to go, getting some heroes as well, and it's going to be an interesting one. Champions of Summer's Rift, Void Boys going toe-to-toe in this best-of-3 series again. A lot at stake. Single elimination. This is just the first round. Winner will move on to play up against Narvi. Loser is done. And, of course, top prize, $50K in prize pool money. Of course, that trip to Shanghai, China for that WCA land. There are CN qualifiers, Chinese qualifiers going on roughly the same time as this. So lots of teams trying to vie for these spots to get over to WCA, play that land final in beautiful Shanghai, China. But it all starts here in the first round of these brackets. Champions of Summer's Rift versus Void Boys now coming to a head. Visage, I think this is going to be a band that we'll see a lot more of as we progress further.
Yeah, it's a strong hero. It's got some buffs. It's really hard to take down the Visage Familiars now. And, yeah, it also pairs nicely with the Drow. I don't think Drow got huge buffs. But Chen's now banned out from Summer's Rift. Based off of what we saw last game, I think Undying, I have to get right on board with that and think that Undying is just insane. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a first pick Undying right here. Zeus is banned out. There's Undying. I mean, Lesh is really strong right now, too. Quap is really strong. Also, Champions of Summer Rift, I know that they really like Storm still. And there's nothing really wrong with Storm. He did get slightly nerfed, but it wasn't like game-breaking nerfs to him where he can't be picked anymore. Also, keep in mind that Octarine Core is pretty nice on him too. That he uses a lot of spell damage so he can gain back life, not to mention gaining back tons of mana with Bloodstone charges, so it kind of goes both ways. And yeah, that's not surprising me at all.
That is... I'm pretty sure they were watching that last series between Narvi and Ehug, and they saw what Fog did in that game with no items, just levels.
Nothing. Yeah.
Tombstone, Soul Rip, early on in the game, destroyed Anti-Mage, which was beautiful. Undying is now coming back into his own. This was always a niche pick coming out, I think, for a lot of teams in the previous patch, but it's certainly now starting to feel like this hero could be the beginnings of 6.84. I say that, but at the same time, who really knows, honestly, with the beginning of the patch?
It's just really hard to deal with him in many different ways. Like, hey, Gyrocopter is picked up. It was picked up last time too, but as a support, and I think it was
not good,
unimpressive. The reason is you have to be strong enough to kill the tomb yourself and stand up in the front like that. But when you're support, you can't do that. You're just too weak.
Yep.
You don't have items. You don't have the auto attack damage to take down the tomb quickly enough. Obviously, the flat cannon is nice, but you still have to down the tomb, and that means you need more attack damage. So as a one position, I'd say yes, it's a good hero, but I just don't think as support it will work. Anyway, we'll just assume it's going to be a one position until we see something different.
Yeah, the draft will tell us how things turn out. We've mentioned Ursa, I think, has been pretty good against Tombstone. There are certain heroes. Lena's pretty good with Fiery Soul with the right click that you can provide. Although her damage as a support is kind of like a wet noodle early on until she gets like Yules. Maybe another item gets Phase Boots as well. So
her damage is actually not too bad. Like, her stun is amazing. It's much easier to hit than people think. It's 120 damage from 0 to level 1. It's amazing at that. Good stun duration at 1.6, and you can spam it because she has a very high base mana pool to start with. So, yeah, she doesn't have the... I mean, her auto attack damage is okay, but she attacks really, really slow without stacks of Fiery Soul.
Yeah.
I said this briefly last game, but and I know it doesn't get picked up that much anymore, but the Lycan Wolves actually are really good against Undying Tomb. There's certain things that against like Undying Tomb and the other thing that you want to attack in team fights is the Pug and Netherward. That's a little bit different. But the Undying Tomb, the Wolves are actually really good against that.
Oh, God.
This is like 6.84 written all over it. Winter Wyvern and Undying.
That is so much to deal with. There's no real disable in the beginning of the game, but if you get into a team fight later on down the road, there's a Tombstone, Flesh Golem, and a Winter's Curse. That seems like so much to deal with. I don't know, just from the start alone, I maybe just, I might be overhyping this for Champions of Summer's Rift, but it feels like these two heroes are the perfect start for their lineup, and I don't know how Void Boys are going to be able to deal with this.
There's a couple of ways that you can deal with Undying. One is you just get extremely strong laners. Gyro Lena is not a bad start. Like, they have good range, Lena has really good range. Gyro can kind of deal with the, if there isn't a Tombstone, obviously Gyro does amazing damage single target to a one hero. And that's great. So if they get really strong laners, you can just say, all right, we'll buckle down. We'll fight this with strong laners, with good nukes, yada, yada, yada. Or you just totally abandon ship, have one hero sit up there and try to soak EXP, and then you just dodge the Undying. Because if Undying is not getting in team fights, he's useless. So if Undying can't find those team fights, you dodge him, then he feels like kind of a wasted pick. So he's trying to look for team fights as best as possible. If you dodge him, then it kind of makes him useless. The problem with that, though, of just dodging the lane, like we saw last game, is if they did, you have a strong pusher like Leshrac. Will they have the same thing for Summer's Rift? We'll have to wait and see.
It's very early on in the draft. We're still into our second ban phase here. Broodmother's going to get taken out. That hero is so damn annoying in any situation. You don't want to play against it. We saw what Not Today could do with it. For Void Boys, they're going to ban out the AM. Another ban coming out, the Lone Druid for Summer's Rift, and then another ban from Void Boys coming up soon. So Void Boys... You can kind of see Summer's Rift. You know what some of these players play. Void Boys is a team that they've played a lot of games, but their playstyle is going to be different now. They don't have Pat Soul. We talked about that beforehand. Pat Soul was, I think, the heart and soul of this team. No pun intended, but we're going to have the next pick coming through, next ban rather. No reserve time been used for Void Boys just yet. So far, this draft is not telling us much. It's taking a long time to really set up. One thing important to note is that Champions of Summer's Rift are playing on LAN, with the exception of Miracle Chipmunk, who has finally changed his name from Bugatti 420, thank God.
Well, actually, it's just because it's a non-ticketed game.
Yeah, that's true. Well, oh well. You win some, you lose some.
You win some, you lose some.
Mike is there. He's at the LAN. He theoretically could have played. However, because he was already playing for Wheel, that is obviously not allowable, and he probably just knows that he's not going to be playing for Summer's Rift. So they'll get some time to work together as 4. They don't have Mike yet, which, I mean, this is practice time they could be using to scrim with Mike or to play with Mike. So it's kind of rough that they're not playing with him, but they still get to play with 4 of their 5 that they're going to have at Red Bull.
Yeah, and it's not like, I think when you swap out for a stand-in, like as a 1 position, even a mid player, or your other core, like as a offlane's probably the best, because you don't have as much communication that's necessary of being playing with that player for a long time, if it makes any sense. Whereas if you swap out a support player, there's a lot more that you have to kind of get used to,
yes,
you know, in that kind of environment. So it's not the biggest deal in the world.
Support players seem to make most of the calls on a team, generally.
Yes.
And that's not the same case for every team. But
actually, I've ranked for Summer's Rift. Brax makes all the calls.
Yeah.
He says everything. So if they don't have Brax, then that might be an issue. But they have Brax. So
yeah, Brax has been. We should talk a bit more about Summer's Rift. Brax has been their, by far and away, I think honestly, I'd say their best player.
Yeah,
in recent months. I think everybody has noticed he stepped his game up. He's gone to another level. His Zeus has been fantastic when he's played it. Honestly, all of his heroes that he's played has been absolutely fantastic, and he's had many, many good games. They are coming off a loss to Narvian Canada Cup just a couple of nights ago. I was able to cast that series. They didn't look great. It was on 6.84, and I think the biggest thing was a lot of people were saying that Banana Slam Jamma was playing it kind of like it was 6.83, wasn't coming to fights. I don't think that was necessarily the case. I don't know really what the problem was, but Narvi took the series 2-0.
I know that he likes to farm a lot, and he really loves to dodge. And I think you could get away with that in 6.83 because as long as you got your farm on your jug with your Magnuson power, the Magnuson power on Troll, Sniper, as long as you just got that farm, then you could just get 6 slotted and kill heroes from full to nothing. Those heroes now got nerfed though, with the exception of Magnuson power. That's still around and still strong. Yeah. But you have to gauge whether you can do that or not, right? Maybe some games you can, some games you can't. So anyway, I was going to mention one thing. Oh, the Shadow Demon Lina. I'm wondering if this is going to be mid Lina or support. Support would actually be very good for this reason. Undying wants to hold his tomb as long as possible, because if you use it too prematurely, you will either just kill it or you'll run away. And if you use it too soon, it becomes easy to make that distinction of what you should do. But if you initiate with a Shadow Demon, so he likes to hold it, is what I'm saying. Right. If Shadow Demon goes in with initiate with a disruption, and then Lina follows up with an LSA stun, I don't think you can cast that tomb in time. I think you'll just die. If you don't have enough stacks in your decay, your HP will be low enough to where you'll get hit by the stun. The gyrocopter will come in with the rocket barrage. If Shadow Demon's level 2, that means the soul catcher's onto you. So I actually really like that combination, and it will be, I think, a support Lina because that's a Shadow Fiend.
That is a Shadow Fiend mid, probably coming out from Void Boys. Last Band Spirit Breaker. Juggernaut picked up for Champions of Summer's Rift, a hero that has been nerfed substantially, I'd say. Omni-Slash no longer stuns. I actually have the change log.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
That's actually one of the biggest changes too.
I thought it was just the indirect nerf with the Mask of Madness, but yeah, it doesn't stun anymore.
Yeah.
Which some people were saying, I heard someone say, I forget whose stream it was on, I think it was Owie's, it maybe not have been, wasn't him, but someone's like, oh, that's not a big deal because you can usually kill them anyway. I think it's actually a very big deal because I've seen so many times where a support's running away, they're trying to fog, and then they like TP out and they're like, please, please don't see me, and Jug sees him in the last second and then cancels it.
Hits the R button.
Hits the R button. Well, now, if he does the same thing, he can hit the R button, but it'll be wasted ult. So
yeah, that's right.
I think it's actually a very big change.
Yeah, I think they changed his agility gain as well, I'm pretty sure, to something, or maybe not. They didn't touch his agility gain. Blade Fury, of course, the cooldown was changed to a bit longer. Blade Fury now has the same spell immunity on cast spell behavior as other spell immunity. Healing Ward movement speed was slowed down to 420. And
420!
Yeah. Using items, abilities, and Omni-Slash no longer requires facing a direction, which I guess is nice, but I guess it wasn't nerfed that much, actually, when you think about it. Omni-Slash was obviously the big change, and then the Blade Fury cooldown, but other than that...
420 Blade it.
Oh.
Blades of attack now cost 420 as well.
This guy's clever. We got the jokes
I got
up
it
here.
from Twitch chat, okay? I'm not that clever.
Did you really?
Yeah, the second they came out, they're like, 420 Blade it.
Oh my god. Thank you, Twitch chat. Oh god, I can't believe it. Void Boys now, they have their last pick coming through here. With the Lina support, Shadow Demon, Gyrocopter probably in the 1 position. This is an offlaner, because they don't have an offlaner yet. And you're wondering what they go for here. 24 seconds left in reserve time. What would be great? Something that is like instant disable, so Jug can't spin, or they can catch puck before he's able to phase shift. Like maybe like a Centaur Blink. Oh, it's banned out. Just kidding. All right, well.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah,
Phoenix doesn't seem that great here, honestly.
Oh, they go with the Nature's Prophet.
That's not what I was expecting, but you know, he got buffed, so let's go for it.
You know what? I wonder if the added damage buff to his trees would make a difference in trying to kill the tomb faster. I have not seen that happen. I don't know. I don't know how fast they killed it before. Regardless, though, if you have trees up and Jug tries to ult, it's a disaster, and he will not try to ult. That being said, he doesn't need to ult, because if he's really quick with S and Y, I mean, you're still going to get some movement speed from the Mask of Madness, and he still should go for Mask of Madness.
Yes.
Like, there's no question about it. It's the best item in the game for him.
Yes.
Like, so he'll still get that, and you can still kind of close the distance with Nature's Prophet. Although, you can't cancel his TP anymore, so we'll maybe see if that comes into play.
Yeah, this could be huge for the Furion. Gets out of some trouble. They have already. They do have Dream Coil and they do have Winter's Curse, but that's really it when it comes to canceling TPs or just direct disables. Really, they don't really have much.
I mean, the Winter's Curse is actually a pretty long cooldown.
Oh well.
Oh, there's a good stun.
That is a stun right there. That is a Beastmaster, the manly man himself, the red face paint coming into play. He's got his primal roar. Only someone of his stature can roar and actually just cause someone to stop in their tracks. Oh god.
I don't know if I'm 100% a fan of this pickup. I think there's tons of ways to deal lots of damage to him. Tons of easy ways to kill the boar with Flat Cannon. And, I mean, they have a Shadow Demon. I think Shadow Demon's actually a really good hero against Beastmaster by just disrupting the hero that you roar. So, I'm not 100% a fan of this hero. I still think he did get buffs, and I already thought he was a fantastic hero. But maybe not this game. We'll see. We'll see. I'll put it at that.
I think Beastmaster's got room to work with here in this patch, in this metagame. But so does every hero, with maybe the exception of Bristleback. That hero is dead to us. We'll see you later, Bristleback. It's been nice knowing you. We are going to jump into the game. I actually don't know if I like Summer's Rift Draft that much, except for, I mean, but this is the thing. They have the Winter Wyvern, they have the Undying, and that to me is almost enough. Like those two heroes can just win the game.
All right, well, right now we have some aggressive play coming out from Void Boys. As they're walking top, there's boots first on the Gyro, and boots on the Shadow Demon. And, oh, okay, 3 boots. Boots on the Nature's Prophet as well. There's a quick DC. Any more boots on this team? Let's see here. Fly? Nope. No boots for him, unfortunately. So he's got to play Ward Bitch this game. So he's got the clever little Observer and Sentry wards, swapping them around by double-clicking on him. If you didn't know that, it took me a little bit to figure that out, but I did figure it out.
Well, we'll see. They'll try to put a ward up maybe on the rune spot, and we'll see. He's right now 5-man aggression, like you mentioned, from Void Boys. We'll see where they send these lanes. I think Omega Opponent's got to be up here alone. They're going to probably send the supports down bottom. 747 will try to get the Shadow Fiend. He'll try to get the rune, the bounty rune in the top rune spot. And then Mercy Please will probably head bottom with his supports at his wayside. Miracle Chipmunk goes for the early Boar and Hawk. No surprise there. We'll see if they put a ward up here for his Ancients, because he can still do Ancients. Beastmaster was notable a long time ago. TI2 is kind of when he was most notable for getting picked up. I actually remember in North America, Hannah Montana. Hold that thought. There's going to be a fight here, it looks like. There, you can use the Arc to burn. Disruption comes out as well. They get up the Tombstone. BSJ chasing some heroes down, but look at that rocket barrage on the Brax. He's going to lose Europe and Jaunt away. He'll make it out. No heroes that are dead on the map currently. Brax was close. Oh, the Sprout comes out. The LSA as well. And BSJ is going to fall. That is a huge pickup coming up from Omega Poner. That Sprout range coming into effect, man. The cast range now a bit longer. Huge kill for Omega Poner. That is such a good start for your offlane Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, they're going to have to quickly buy him a TP. That's 100 gold out of the pocket of... Oh, the Demon actually bought that, and someone else bought a TP, but Miracle Chipmunk has to sell that. A little bit of time wasted, but they just weren't expecting 5 heroes. And man, Gyrocopter is one of the best level 1 engagement heroes, if not the best. Tomb came out, but honestly, level 1 Tomb is not that impressive. And LSA
too quickly.
LSA spam early, like I mentioned, it's a fantastic nuke. It's one of the best at level 1. 120 damage, good stun duration, good AoE, low cooldown, low mana. It's one of the better spells to spam at level 1 engagements.
I'm not sure how far away that Nature's Prophet was, but I think that cast range might have come into play. I think that Sprout just got off and it had enough range to be able to get it done. I think they buffed it from 600. It's only 25 more range, but still.
That could make a difference. I mean, when they nerfed OD's Astral range, but just by a tiny little bit, you saw that hero just fall off. It actually makes a huge difference sometimes. So
He's going to sprout in a creep. He's trying to go for the good old clockwork cog block, but instead with the sprout block, he gets the range creep, so that's kind of nice. It'll push out the wave a little bit.
they got this pulled, so he shouldn't get too much out of here.
So, never mind. That's pulled up. The creep wave's entirely dead. Demon will get CS.
They are using Undying as a safe lane support, though, which I think is a little bit of a waste. Normally you want to be really aggressive, like I said, and kind of fight and do some sort of annoying dual lane or something. So it's a little bit curious to me, but at the very least, Nature's Prophet shouldn't get anything at all. And he can't rotate in the jungle because he has Sprout level 1, so...
I will say this, Fly actually just roamed around and put some wards up, some really nice housekeeping wards. Sentry to block the Ancients, and then this Observer ward behind the Tier 1 tower, which is very interesting early on in the game. Meanwhile, Miracle Chipmunk and Fly will go toe-to-toe. Miracle Chipmunk has level 2. LSA is going to Fly, but Fly doesn't have nearly enough base damage. But here comes Juan. He's going to walk in. He's got Disruption and Soul Catcher. Miracle Chipmunk will back away. The Boar is zoning him out kind of effectively. Just a little bit of trades, a little bit of a love tap going between the two heroes. So,
yeah, they could have killed him if Puck didn't rotate, but as soon as they saw him coming around, they had to walk away. And mid lane, we got 17-4 for the Shadow Fiend, 8-1 for Puck. So Shadow Fiend off to a racing start here in mid lane.
Chipmunk? Okay, never mind. He's fine. They disrupted him already. Did he miss his LSA? I think he must have, or just not used it.
I don't know, but they're killing Hawks as well. He misses LSA, I guess, according to mod packs, which sucks. But they did get a bird there, which is 30 gold, so that's nice.
Shout out to Modpacks for joining us. As always, great stats man. Check him out at Modpacks on Twitter. Nice. All right. I think Shadowfiend went raise first. I'm pretty sure. He had a really good start. I would be very surprised if he didn't go raise first and had like 7 last hits to begin the game with, I think.
Either way, he hit level 2 so friggin' quick with the experience from level 1 death plus the bounty rune, so it didn't really matter.
Yep. So he's already 24-7.
Yeah, he's beasting in this
Brax is, again, he's had a really solid time with Summer's Rift recently, but he's 11-1. It's just not a good lane.
This matchup used to be actually, I would say, pretty even, maybe even Puck favorite if you're a really good Puck player. But as soon as they buffed that raise and they gave the bounty and they introduced the bounty runes, it's totally an SF favored matchup. It's just Puck can't deal with the raise spam.
Not many heroes can, honestly.
Look at the damage. Like, even though you can phase shift once, you still have other races that are going to be spammed on the creep waves, and you usually want to be close to the creep wave as a ranged hero.
Oh god, Fly's dead. Oh, they took the tower aggro. They were diving, they even had Omega Poner, but Miracle Chipmunk knew the entire time. They pinged it out right as he TP'd in. Miracle Chipmunk backed up. He actually tangled through a tree to get through the sprout. Fly almost died of that tower. He's lucky that Mercy Please took up the aggro. He is taking the aggro a bit too much now as there's a creep wave under it, but they're going to push this. Tier 1 is getting absolutely demolished here between these heroes.
They're doing this without treants as well.
Yeah.
The Nature's Call trees, that's kind of funny. But this tower will go down. Miracle Chipmunk is getting okay experience out of this. Maybe we'll see if he can get some kind of crafty deny here. It's a little bit difficult as he's got...
No.
I'm not going to get it.
And they even disrupt him as well. Soul Catcher will fly out. Quan is like alone. This homing missile might do damage if the Soul Catcher's still there.
The faster...
the rocket barrage of the Sprout. He is just dead. That came out of nowhere.
It's kind of a weird, awkward situation because it's like the further he runs away, the longer he gets stunned. But if he stands right there, then you're also going to take a rocket barrage from standing in one place.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks. That was a nice little combo, actually. The rocket into a disruption afterwards to give you some time. Yeah, it's pretty crafty.
Yeah. Void Boys playing pretty well early on here in this game. They take a Tier 1 tower. They have a huge lead mid. 38-19 now. The only lane that's not going particularly well is, well, they abandoned it. BSJ is getting free farm top with 34 last hits. He's going to put some pressure onto this Tier 1 tower. Not quite as much as was just put on by Void Boys, but Void Boys, again, they are the severe underdogs here, I think, by many. Summer's Rift looking to take this series, but Void Boys not having it early on. 5.5 minutes into the game, and they are taking it to Summer's Rift. It's only 2-0, but...
God, SF is just obliterating mid lane right now.
Absolutely.
46, now he's going to the jungle, he's spamming it out.
He got a point in presence of the Dark Lord.
That has to be a misclick.
It must have been. He's only at 22 stacks now of Necromastery.
I mean, okay, if it wasn't a misclick, it does go from 0 to 3. I always make this point of level 1 spells if they're value points or not. There's still really no reason why you want to forgo the extra... How much full damage is it? It's 7 extra souls, so that's 14 extra damage. I would take that over -3 armor.
He'll get up his Necromastery levels anyways. TP the top rune spot. I think Wyvern got it. Whitebeard will chase down Poner. He actually has the Arctic Burn on him. Can't get in front of him. He does. He gets the body block off with the flying. Now there's going to be a Dream Coil to decay as well. Poner's just dead. And Brax finally gets a huge kill because, I mean, he wasn't having a great time CSing, and any kill that he can get is going to get him some extra gold. So Brax is really happy with that.
Yeah, for sure. What level is the Prophet 2? He's never level 4. Not too bad for him, though.
Bottom
They
lane.
used to coil. Bottom lane.
Disruption,
Easy
LSA.
kill.
Yeah, that's just too easy, honestly. Disruption, LSA, Rocket Barrage. You're dead.
They TP'd with a TP scroll from Nature's Prophet bottom 2. Are they going to push this tier 2? They have a very aggressive early ward behind that tower. There was a TP that was canceled as well. I forget whose it was. It was Demon's, because it's on cooldown for 55 seconds. So he can't show up. I think they're going to get a tier 2 here.
Without the Undying, that's such a big fighting force. You can't really defend. Although there aren't treants. No, they are. They have 2 level 2 treants. So you just leveled them up not too long
Well,
ago.
you got level 4, so.
Yeah. Axe is going to come out. They do have good D push in that regard with the whirling axes, but treants are going to do a nice job tanking the tower for the time being. BSJ does get the top tier 1. He's up to phase boots coming up pretty soon. He actually goes for Gloves of Haste. Might be going Treads, also could go Midas. If he wanted Treads, he could actually just buy it outright and just flam out to him, but I think he just might be going Midas instead.
Who?
BSJ.
Oh, no.
Juggernaut.
I don't think he'll go Midas. He's going to pick up Treads right here and then get another maybe Band of Elven skin.
Radiant's top tower is under
Treads.
attack.
Oh, no. He's going to go for the Mask of Madness. Of course. So
Oh,
just-
he has the Band of Elvis kit, so it's going to be Agility Treads when it flies out to him.
Oh, I didn't see that he already had it in the courier. Okay,
Yeah, he has the
my
Gloves of
mistake.
Haste. That's
Yeah.
something I often forget about, too, is the fact that you can get a Band of Elven skin or a Robe of the Magi, and then a Gloves of Haste, and it'll turn it into whatever you want it to.
Although the annoying quick buy thing still shows you that you need both components, I really hate that. I wish they changed that.
Yeah. Well, there's the Treads now done, which is weird because Phase Jug is built, I think, in 90% of games. On 90% of, well, then again, it is 6.84, so maybe
Yeah.
this is going to be the new meta.
Well, Treads did get buffed a little bit, and the way I see it is if you want to go for Treads on Jug, I still prefer Phase, but if you want to go Treads on Jug, it makes you more of a fighter outside of your ulti. It means you have a little bit more, or you have a lot more attack speed, actually, which means you're critting more often. So I think it's okay.
The harder carry build, perhaps, coming up
Yeah.
with the Juggernaut. We'll see what item goes after the Mask of Madness, whether SNY is still the choice, or maybe it gets... And it's a Silver Edge. I'm down for that.
Yeah.
That's a thing that could happen.
Oh,
BSJ?
they caught him over here doing these. Oh, he suspected the Omni Slash was coming out. A little premature on that disruption, but nonetheless, they bump him out of of their own ancients. And now he's going to actually have to go back to his own jungle. to
Level
farm.
1 Omni Slash with only 1 point in stat and only 1 point in Blade Fury. I don't know if he gets that kill even with the Omni Slash with the full health Shadow Demon. It would have been kind of close.
I think he would have, but I imagine he would cast the disruption fast enough to at least stop a couple attacks.
Yes,
You know?
yeah.
So
Either way, BSJ goes back to his jungle. Brax is sitting on how many CS here? 40. The Shadowfeed's sitting at 93, so that's a
insane.
pretty big discrepancy. That point in presence of the Dark Lord did not slow him down at all, honestly. It did nothing.
I'm wondering even if he actively did it so that he could deny easier, or not deny easier, but just get auto attacks in for more damage onto him. I don't know. Like I said, it's probably a misclick.
23 armor's not bad. I do think it's probably a misclick, but at the same time.
It's not that big of a deal.
669 phase, 54 treads, 1 arcane, and he won. That's pretty nice.
Arcane
Disruption,
Jug.
LSA, Rocket Barrage, even the call down added. They even TP'd an Omega Poner. They really want this tier 2 tower as well.
Arcane Jug. That has to have been the support then, so that you could run around and really cast your healing ward and spin a lot.
Pax, what game was that Arcane Jug game?
Yeah, give us the game, man.
You can't just leave us hanging here. I know you're working on it tirelessly, so see if we can find that soon. My interest is piqued.
I'm a little interested that this Gyro went for all-out flat cannon. It's not going for upgraded damage onto the Rocket Barrage, despite the fact that it was actually, I think it was a pretty nice buff. A very, very convenient buff. Makes it just feel a lot better.
He is still getting kills with level 1 Rocket Barrage, though.
I know. Oh, another disruption.
Oh, the Soul Catcher doesn't catch. They do get the LSA. They don't have Laguna. Dragon Slave goes. Flat Cannon doing a lot of work.
Cancel TP from Puck. That's no coil, and they know it.
The tier 2 is it's just theirs. They have the Shadow Fiend. They have all 5 heroes. Suddenly, Void Boy's
Dire's
5-man.
bottom tower
And they're
has
doing this against an Undying pickup. I just don't agree with picking Undying if you're going to safe lane pull with him and stuff. You know, it just doesn't...
He's level 7 now, so he is almost where he's not as good as he possibly could be. Like maybe get another item, get a couple levels in Sorp and Decay. But he's still in a very good spot right now. He could easily TP to a lane and fight.
Yeah, exactly. But here's the problem now with his 5-manning and the tons of farm coming up on a gyro. He's got drums and treads. He's very tanky. If he goes straight BKB now, which I think he should, he just runs in, doesn't care about the coil, and then he can just attack the two. Oh, Demon's dead.
He is not God. That is exactly what you talked about in the draft, where you get LSA'd and you just go from 0 to death immediately. My goodness.
Did they even set it up with a disruption? No, they didn't.
They did not.
That's a
He TP'd in,
deal.
he got stuck in the tree line, and then he just got LSA'd and died.
Oh, man. This is looking really bad for Summer's Rift. They have the mech online, too, for Shadow Fiend. He used it already, so they're probably going to back up. But the damage has certainly been done with the Tier 2 bottom, Tier 1 mid. Midas Gaming coming up for Nature's Prophet. Totally agree with it, by the way. All right, he got it. Support Jug with Arcane Mech Earn. HOG defeating... I don't even know who HOG is. Who cares?
I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I don't know who HOG is.
Anyway, dude, that would actually be really cool if he did that now, because now he could upgrade both Arcanes and Mech into the Greaves.
Greaves, yeah.
Which are sick on... I saw RTC doing it in the pub just a second ago. So sick on Huskar, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, because you always want to be low HP. That means your thing is always proccing to give you 15 extra armor and the tons of extra regen.
Okay.
It was really sick. He owned that game.
Is RTZ, was he using the tag YB?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was watching a pub earlier with him. He was playing against Yawar.
Yeah, he was owning.
Yeah, well, I didn't see the end of that pub, but...
It was just sick, because I saw him with mana boots. I'm like, why the hell do you... Oh, all right, I get it.
The Greaves.
And it was actually friggin' legit.
Yeah, Greaves seems like a really good item, like you said, for people that go Arcanes and Mech at the same time. So good for a couple heroes. We'll see how it turns out. There's so much room for experimenting. That's what I love about this patch. That's what I love about new patches. And this is probably the best patch to experiment, because we've never had this many items added to the game before, and we probably have never had this many changes to so big, like these big heroes, honestly. Yeah. So it's very interesting.
I mean, the items change was, to be honest, a bit overwhelming.
Yes.
But I haven't seen like tons of teams rush tons of new items, with the exception of the Glimmer Cape and the game that we had the Leviathan yesterday, where they all went for the Lotus
Orb,
which didn't work out.
No.
So you got to be a little bit careful. You can't just keep going for them just for
that Glimmer Cape mana cost. I think maybe really hurt that.
Bottom, they might get, if they can find a good angle with this disruption.
Oh, is this a dead Miracle Chipmunk? It looks like it will be. Disruption's going to come through. Fly's going to get the LSA. Times it pretty perfectly, and that's just... There's so much burst coming out from the side of Void Boys. If they catch a hero with LSA, they're going to get a kill. TP's now coming in mid. Omega Pronus here. Requiem not going to go. It's going to be the Razors first. BSJ sprouted up. He's going to get away. He eats through with his Quelling Blade. Pops up the Healing Ward as well. The move speed now 420. 420 Blade it. That's with the Blade Fury as well. And he will get away. No problem there.
No bueno, right?
Oh, my God.
Oh, wait. No, that's no good. God, I'm so stupid. All right. I didn't take Spanish in high school, guys. I took German.
It's not the fact that you got it wrong. It's the fact that you said it.
I know.
Your last name means good in Spanish? Wow. Thanks, guys. Yeah. 6-1 the score, 14.5 minutes in. This feels like it's been more action-packed than the score indicates.
How could they just smoked in front of...
Yeah, they saw that smoke, too. They were right next to that ward. Shadow Fiend is going to get Winter's Curse, but there's no real damage coming out. The Lucio Roar goes right as the disruption comes out. Oh, no. The damage gone. Dream Coil coming in. Cool. There's going to be the call down on the backside. Fly running in. BSJ's low. Got Demonic Purged up. Brax now in trouble. Sprouted. He goes down. Can't jaunt away. Demon in trouble as well. The Flesh Golem, the tanky bad boy that he is. He gets the decay off. The salve went through for a second. He's got 7 stick charges. He'll use it, but here comes Poner. He's got the sprout up, and he gets it as well. The range increase coming in. They get the next raise, the double kill for 747. It is 8-1 Void Boys. This is looking real bad for Summer's Rift.
And I don't think they have this late. Like, they got the Midas factor onto the Nature's Prophet. I mean, we haven't seen this hero in a long time reach the late game, but he's the king of late game rat, if it ever comes to that. You can transition Lina into a late game powerhouse if you want to. SF is pretty relevant from start to finish. Gyro is pretty good from start to finish as well. Shadow Demon's one of the... I mean, they just have it all, and they're winning these engagements. This is really bad for Summer's Rift. We're pinging out Roshan right now. They still, and the good thing about Void Boys too is they're not a team that's reliant on really big, long cooldowns, right?
Yep.
They can constantly keep using their spells. The longest cooldown they have is Laguna Blade, I think, which is only 70 seconds right now. And maybe the the Requiem's long, but you don't really need that to fight.
No, his raises are more than good enough in this situation. With all the burst damage that they have, all of the control they have, it's actually ridiculous how much damage Void Boys are pumping out. I want to make the argument that if Summer's Rift maybe completed some of those TPs and fought at some of those towers, they could have easily fought into whatever Void Boys had with the Undying Tombstone. I guess it is pretty hard with what Void Boys have, but the Undying Tombstone, maybe get the level 6 in the Winter Wyvern, and then you get the Winter's Curse off, and the Omni Slash, and all of that.
Well, I think a couple of things, and it has to do with the draft. One, I think Wyvern plus Undying is a little bit of an overkill. I think these heroes don't have, like, outside of Wyvern's ulti, they don't have any control. They don't have any, like, hard stun. Their only real hard stun is an ulti from Puck, which is not a real stun, and the Beastmaster Roar, which gets completely nullified from a Shadow Demon. Remember, they picked Beastmaster into Shadow Demon, which I think was a big mistake, and that's the other drafting issue. They put him bottom. They can't really lane Undying Beast. I mean, I guess they could have tried, right? Like, I don't think it would have hurt to try the Undying Beastmaster and to try to fight that, but they didn't even try. They just let Undying sit top, and I think that was a bit of a mistake.
Yeah, I agree. They could have roamed around. They could have went bottom. They decided not to. Demon did get a lot of experience at farm, but it hasn't really worked out so far. Poner comes in, Laguna Blade, there's the Roar into Chipmunk. They get the Tombstone off. There's the Flesh Golem as well, but there's no one really fighting here. BSJ is still top.
Brax died to Lina.
Demon is going in on his own right now onto Omega Poner. There's going to be the Winter's Curse. Disruption comes out, though, beautifully. LSA will fly through. Omega Poner will live, but no, the zombies bring him down. Demon is going to get used up, though. Raze is going to go through. He's very tanky. Look at all the decay stacks, but Demonic Purge, the right click, he is going to fall. The Dragon Slave will be the last. Yeah, that is a super chaos coming out from Fly and Alina. And like you said, they also got Brax as well on the backside as he was Laguna Bladed, I believe. I didn't catch it. He goes down. BSJ doesn't come to the fight. It might have been better if he was there. He's still split pushing top. He will get the tier 2 tower, which is fine, but they're going to get Roche on the back end of this for Void Boys.
This is a little bit of what you see often from Summer's Rift. It's a ton of 4 and 1, or protect 1 if you will, where they farm up the carry. BSJ just tries to farm. He doesn't want to come to fights. Sometimes I think it bites him in the ass. It can be a little bit difficult now because, like, look at where does he TP? His only option is to actually TP inside the base, so it could take a lot longer to get there. I think it was, one, they also started the fight with Brax dead completely. And maybe that was his reasoning. Like, well, we just lost our Puck for nothing. Don't fight. This is a bad fight, 4v5. They haven't used any big cooldowns. So, if anything, it was probably just on the fact that Brax died right away.
Yeah. It feels like almost every fight has been a bad fight for Summer's Rift, though. They've never gotten into the initiation. They've never gotten off to a good start in an engagement. I think that's part of the issue. They just can't find room to work with. Brax is a Blink Dagger, that's great, but he's still like 5th in net worth right now. He's like right in the middle there, which is the Lena's right behind him. Lena has a Yules. She might have another item coming out too. There's a Yasha coming out for the Shadow Fiend who has Yules and a mech coming through. No BKB, which is interesting, but I don't know if he really needs
Doesn't need it.
They have defensive disruption, as you mentioned so often, and of course Winter's Curse is going to go through his BKB. Primal Roar will go through BKB. Omni Slash will go through BKB. So there's no real incentive for him to buy BKB this game, and mech works just as well, and even Yules too.
Yeah, I don't think he needs a BKB. And actually, Gyrocopter's going to go for an S&Y. He's got the Ogre Club, and then he went Ogre Club, Yasha, then Belt of Strength. Kind of a weird... Maybe he's like, all right, I'm going to go for a BKB, and then his team was like, no, you don't need one.
No, you don't.
I actually still think BKB would be good for him, just so he doesn't get spammed down from Puck spells and whatnot. But, I mean, they are significantly ahead that maybe he doesn't need one in this stage.
Significantly ahead, and they still have to take a tier 1 tower top lane. That is a true advantage coming up for Void Boys. Getting pucked. Brax's earliest puck blink, 8:30 Dream League prelims win. His latest blink, 22-10 TI3 loss.
Oh.
Meanwhile, they're going to jump in. Winter's Curse and the Roar. They do blow up the Shadow Demon, but that's just support. Poner's going to sprout and try to TP away. They don't really have any way to stop him. They do. They got the Dream Coil. Brax was able to come out of his spaceship. Poner does get out. No, he TPs away and dies in the well. I'm not sure to what the last hit was going to go for Brax. I think the Dream Coil actually snapped and killed him in the well. That might have been it.
I think SF could have fought that, man. I think he had like a really nice Requiem. He had Aegis still. I think he could have manned up just a little bit, but I was a little bit scared too. Yules.
Oh, Fly. Actually, my fall here, the Whirling Axe is doing a lot of work. Decay comes in. No, Soul Rip from Demon gets the kill, and suddenly Void Boy's getting turned on. Look at the damage coming through. Demon now going to work. The right click, the decays. 747 in trouble. They come in. They get the H, but here comes the call down. Mercy Please wants to fight. Brax is going to jaunt away. Demon able to keep himself up and alive. Miracle Chipmunk not so lucky. Both will fall in the end. Mercy Please turns it around. turns it into a 2-for-2, at least in that segment of the fight. And it could have been a lot worse for Summer's Rift, but they do get out mostly.
Yeah, baited into the assistance of Mercy Please. Now with that completed S&Y, he's super fast, he can maim. I think this would actually be a really good game for the separation of the S&Y. Although he does get some really nice movement speed, which works well with his Rocket Barrage, which he kept at level 1. Okay. So he really wants the extra... This is all about flat cannon then from him. No shenanigans, just all flat cannon.
Which makes
this was like the really old way to build him.
Yeah. But now, the new way, Silver Edge, Manta, the Brave New World, theoretically.
And since you looked at that list, I'm sure you can disable the Blade Dance crit from Banana Slam, from Juggernaut.
You can. Absolutely, you can.
It means I'm wondering if you can disable that and, like, say he ulties. Since it makes him invulnerable, it would take it away, right? I would
assume so.
Yeah, I would assume so too.
Who knows? A lot of weird
Missiles
interactions
coming
in the
in.
game.
He actually takes the missile.
Winter's Curse on the 747. They have no damage coming through. Nice defensive disruption. They roar up Schwan, but it's a bit too late. Yule's up. 747 Requiem's going to go, but there's the Truth Coil. Cancels it, gets silenced up as well, but he does bring down the puck still. Banana Slam Jamma going in, but it's still a 4-for-1. Laguna Blade, the Dragon Slave, all the spam ability coming out from Void Boys. They're going to team wipe Summer's Rift. Whitebeard, the last to fall. He does Cold Embrace, and it'll only stay the execution for so long. And Mercy Please finally brings him down with a nice little dink to the face, and they're going to go right to the Tier 3 tower. With only a couple of buybacks here for Summer's Rift, this might be them losing game number 1 against Void Boys. Not many would have predicted that.
2 buybacks. They're still doing tons of damage to this tower. They know Coil is down. Puck hasn't bought back yet.
There is Omni Slash.
They do have Omni Slash. Wow, they still have Omni Slash.
He was Blade
They're going to drums away.
Time.
That's a...
Alright, well,
That's a Shadow Demon ulti on a Jug Illusion. That's very strange.
Sometimes you just got to get away. And actually, he body blocked the other Jug Illusion. He didn't micro it around him, so...
Oh, yeah. Well, that's very weird. Anyway, they baited out 2 buybacks, still got a Tier 3. Big, gigantic win for Void Boys. And even though the Shadow Fiend died, I think he's totally fine with that. I don't know if he got his full Manta before that. But he does have it. He does have a full Manta now. And that's really... Like, now he has multiple ways to deal with the Omni Slash. If Yules is already on cooldown, he can pop the Manta. Hell, even if he doesn't and pops the mech, pretty sure he's tanky enough to not be dealt, very much damage from it.
No, you're right.
And Treants nearby as well.
There's just so much, like, the Winter's Curse will come out, and then there's, like, an immediate defensive disruption, and SF just doesn't take any damage. They're not in position, or who knows, but maybe he will get caught out here. The Roar will go first, and now the call down to turn it. They've got the Tombstone on the deck. He's got a Manta. He's got his Yules up as well. He'll use it. He's up in the air. Omega Poder back into the fray. Elusive, they want this kill. Defensive disruption. Demon Whitebeard solo. Mercy, please. The right-click. Requiem goes out. There's the Laguna Blade. Brax is down as well. The flat cannon from Mercy, please, creating space, mowing down enemy heroes left and right. They lose the Shadow Fiend again. He is happy with that every day of the week. This lead gets more and more massive for Void Boys as the game progresses. They are to a 20,000 net worth lead, and they haven't even taken a racks yet.
Yeah, they did such a good job about trying to save SF, but between him using all his spells, Gyrocopter running in there trying to be aggressive to save him in some way, and then Shadow Demon with the disruption. But Brax able to get the final silence off to kill him. Nicely done there. Might be an argument to still get that BKB, but if he gets a Scotty at this point, I think that'll be just fine. That's probably what he's going to go for, is a Scotty. And to be honest, the Jug pick just can't do anything in these heroes. Like the Treants to soak up his ulti, Shadow Fiend he's built around the Juggernaut perfectly. Mech, Yules, Manta, that Jug ult's not going to do anything. And then on top of it all, you have a Shadow Demon who can disrupt in the middle of it. If he has a disruption on cooldown, he can Ghost Scepter himself, which he just freshly purchased, so it's really, really difficult. A Megaponer, he is going to just sprout and TP home.
Omni Slash, even if it was there again, he lives because they have no disable.
Yeah.
But it wasn't there. He had no mana for it, and Omega Poner will get out. This has been... I don't want to use the term because it was used so negatively at TI4, but it feels death ball-y to a certain extent. Maybe I'm wrong about that. There's been a very big lead for Void Boys because they took down towers. They were able to win fights. Yeah, it's sort of similar, but not really.
The difference is Void Boys is maybe deathballing, but they also have way better late game.
That's true.
So that's, I think this draft is just not working out for Summer's Rift. I don't like... The thing is, I love Beastmaster. I just don't think he was the pick here. The Roar just doesn't do anything. I don't think Jug... Did they pick up Jug early or late? I think it was like in the middle of the draft. They started with Undying and then the Wyvern. And then I think, they picked Puck after that. I think Jug was 4th pick.
That sounds about right.
I don't think Jug was also the pick. I think their last 2 picks were a little bit... Lena has Ags money. Dear Lord. Oh, dear Lord.
She is farmed.
She is farmed.
She's right up there with the rest of them. But we are good to go. A couple pauses, nothing too crazy. We're going to get back into the game. 7-4-7 top lane's going to push this in. When is Roche? We don't know yet. It's the 8-minute mark is going to hit in about 20 seconds or so, and then we'll figure it out. There might have been a timer up there on the right side. Didn't see it, don't care. Either way. Omega Poner gets up his Orchid. Right after that, he gets a full Necro 1. Necro 3 will be done sometime in the near future. Now, BSJ gets a pretty huge item in the Basher. Gets an Abyssal later. Maybe this game gets a bit easier for them. It just feels like every fight they take from here on out is so hard at this point in the game. Because again, also Undying gets worse as the game progresses. Even with the changes to him, he's still the same old Undying, where he doesn't scale as well as some other heroes do.
It's hard, too, because I actually still feel like the Jug is going to need a BKB. But now with an Ags on Lena, and you have Shadow Demon ulti, this is not a draft that Jug can fight against at all.
So
it really isn't.
The spam ability has been a big issue, which you just mentioned. Dragon Slave, LSA, Call Down, Flat Cannon, Rocket Barrage, which he only has level 1 of. I'm not sure if he actually leveled it up or not. Raises, and Shadow Poison.
This is all low cooldown spells. Very low cooldown spells.
And they could just throw all of these out whenever they want.
Yep.
And it pretty much wins them team fights. And Summer's Rift are fighting around long cooldown, Roar, Dream Coil, Tombstone, etc.
Yeah. Even the ulti from Wyvern's pretty long cooldown, 110 seconds.
There's going to be a smoke coming out from the side of Void Boys. I don't know how the Shadow Fiend... He must have attacked out of it. He's not currently in the smoke. He's going to walk right towards mid. The only one currently visible on the map. I don't think they smoked out an Observer Ward. They definitely didn't. There was no dire Observer Ward on the other side of the map. Roche is up in how long? Very quick, 30 seconds. Furion's TPing in. Double Sprout. Only gets the one on Whitebeard, gets the Orchid off. Doesn't really have the damage. Disruption comes out. The call down. LSA missed time, but Demon just gets blown up. That Soul Catcher, that call down obliterated him. I didn't even talk about Soul Catcher, but man, does that kill heroes quick. TP down bottom as it looks like Brax is going to try to jaunt away. TP out as well. He will make it through. Roche is about to respawn. They don't know it. Nah, 747, Shadow Poison. There it is. They see him. They should see him.
Yeah, I think the draft from Void Boys is really good. They've played it right. They've been aggressive with it. And they also just dominated mid lane. I mean, Shadow Fiend had such a good time from start to finish. And again, I think that when you pick the Undying, you kind of waste the hero pick when you just pull with him as a safe lane support. I just don't think that's the way that he can be most effective, you know.
I think it's a byproduct of playing it against Void Boys draft and all the spamability they have. They don't really want to fight into it, but if you look at how Fog played last game, I mean, obviously 2 different games, but so aggressive in that aggressive trial lane, but they had heroes to do it. Brax is going to try to jump in, get the snatch, will not make it. Requiem's going to go, and he gets forced away only to die a moment later. He's dead for 62. He does have buyback. And with that, Void Boys are going to look for them, hopefully, their final push and trying to get to the Tier 3 tower. This does not look like a team where we were saying, okay, you know, these guys haven't been playing super well. They've lost Pat Soul, arguably their best player. They have been on point this game with everything. Their draft, their play, it's been real good.
They're making us look stupid.
Yeah.
They're actually playing quite well.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
BSJ is going to get Orchided. He will TP away. There's no way to stop that TP. Buyback comes in for Brax. Mercy plays very far up. He doesn't have the Aegis. That's on 747. There's going to be the mech through. Tombstone as well. Mercy plays very slow. Roar comes out. Beautiful defensive disruption. BSJ's going to run. Omni Slash will go, but the Manta illusions and the disruption illusions go into work. Mercy plays finally going to go down. 747 alone. BSJ gets Laguna, and he's done. He does not have buyback, nor does Demon as he goes down to the right click. They're going to lose this Brax top lane. They will avoid the LSA from Brax as he gets the phase shift off. Now Fly, Axes, they're doing a lot of damage here on the side of Summer's Rift, but they can't get a kill besides that gyro. Brax jumps back in, and then Omega Poner just gets the right-click kill. He'll try to TP away. He'll make it out. Demonic Purge coming through. Whitebeard gets blown up with the raise. A bloodbath of an engagement, but when it's all said and done, it is going to be a set of racks coming out of the side of Void Boys, the first of the game. And maybe more.
They still have Aegis up on SF, I think, too.
Oh my god,
mech.
they regen so quickly. The mech comes out. He gets so much health.
I think this game is over. Even when Jug respawns, he has buyback, but even if he respawns, they can't fight into this. Like, that was a really funny man fight, though, between the Furion and the Puck. Like, Puck they just kept going. No spells were cast until the final orb, and he went forward, and he's just still dying.
That was not something I was expecting. Bots picked up for the gyro so that when he gets back into the game, he can help this this game get finished off. And Void Boys are going to take a commanding 1-0 lead here in this best-of-3 series. Summer's Rift looking a little out of sorts, to be honest with you, but against this draft, who wouldn't be? Demon going to get orchided up. Will make opponent looking to put the finishing touches on this one. He's going to back away. He'll try to TP out. Looks like he should make it away. They could Winner's Curse him. I don't think they have it up, actually. It's down for 25 seconds. Mech goes yet again. Miracle Chipmunk looking for Aurora. He's going to get called down instead. Here comes BSJ. He'll Manta out. Mercy Please will take a significant amount of damage. Look at the Axe. The Dragon Slave. The Cold Embrace. Roar comes out of the backside on the 747, but it's just too late. They will lose that junk. He'll buy back in. Brax comes through as well. He gets the Drip Coil off. That's the Aegis. They're going to lose Mercy. No, he gets forced. He doesn't break the Dream Coil. Defensive Disruption coming out as well. Manta style going through Whitebeard. Getting manned up on. So is BSJ. The right click. 747 going to work. That is it. GG is called. Void Boys will take the game 1-0 so far in this best-of-3 series. And what a game it was. So much man fight. So much spammability. So much destruction and carnage.
Well put.
Thank you.
Well put. Well, you gotta give some respect to Void Boys because, I mean, we harped on them a little bit. I mean, we still have to be fair. Like they haven't looked good up until this point with their new roster and losing Pat Soul, but they are making a stand today. They're making a stand and saying that we're still a great team. With practice, they can improve, and they definitely did.
Yep.
Whether it's a matter of them improving or also just a weird draft, I think it was a combination of both. I think they also played really, really well, but at the same time, I just think that the last two heroes from Summer, I think they had an okay opening. I do maybe question Undying with Wyvern. It seems kind of like a little bit of overkill of what they want to do. But the biggest one was like Beastmaster after the Shadow Demon pickup. Like Shadow Demon's a great hero against Beastmaster. So like normally when teams see a Beastmaster, they're like, oh, I want to pick Shadow Demon, but it was already like picked, so they could just kind of help him out a little bit. And then Jug just had so many problems as far as trying to find an effective ulti. They had Shadow Fiend building really nicely into an Omni-Slash and just everything else with the Treant and then the Shadow Demon. So they, Void Boys just had their number that game.
Absolutely. And I want to read you a stat line real quick here. I want to say first that the defensive disruptions coming up from the Shadow Demon are absolutely fantastic. He ended the game with 2-1-21.
Yeah.
That's fantastic coming out from the Shadow Demon player, Swan. Really well played coming out from Void Boys. A lot of us were saying Summer's Rift, they were going to have this series, or at least they were the big favorites going into this series. Void Boys take a 1-0 lead here in this best-of-3 series. It's single elimination. If Summer's Rift lose this next game, they are out of it. And they were one of the favorites to get to the grand finals. We'll see how the second game goes. Before we head into the break, my name is Mott. With me is Trout. You can follow us on Twitter, @MottDota, @TralfDota. We'll be right back with more WCA America in just a bit, guys. Stick around.